Today I'm doing something crazy. I'm going to be revealing my cold email strategy, including how I get 17, 16% up to 27.5% positive replies. And even at scale, I'm getting 11% replies to my outreach. And the reason is because I use two unique tools. The first one is Clay. And so Clay, think about it like a Google Sheets on steroids that allows you to do a whole bunch of crazy stuff with AI. So let me show you the output first, and then I will show you how I actually make it work. So secret number one is when I outreach to people, I don't outreach with a sales message. I outreach with, and I'll show you an example here so that you can see. I outreach asking them if they would like to come on a podcast. So, thought you might be, so this is basically the offer. Would you like to come on a podcast call with me? Next to being an interesting chat, it's a good way to get some positive publicity. Can I send you more details? Very, very simple. It's not crazy. I don't make ridiculous offers. I'm like, hey, I have a podcast. Would you like to join me on the podcast? I actually have a podcast where I produce content. So you can see when people Google me, they see podcast host and founder at Dopamine Digital. And I have a whole bunch of content here where I talk to founders from SaaS companies and agencies and consultancies, and I interview them on a podcast, like, crazy. And so these are some clips. I have a whole bunch on YouTube that are longer form, of course. But when I outreach to people, they Google me, and then they also go to my website, right? And they can see that, yes, I have a marketing agency and I build growth engines to scale businesses. They can watch this. And then they can also come down here to the podcast and they can see that I'm legit and I actually have a podcast, right? And then on this page, there is a free lead magnet. Now, a good way to think about the podcast is that it is a pure lead magnet where the value exchange, where the value exchange is extremely easy to understand. So what I mean is, you come onto my podcast, I get content, and I get to talk to my perfect ideal client, and you get content, and you get to share it on your LinkedIn and your socials, and you get to talk about your business, and you get publicity, you potentially get leads. You increase your brand presence, you increase your authority, and at the same time, I do the same thing. So it's like I'm creating content, you're creating content, everybody wins. Now, the way that I use this to make money is that I ask questions and I listen. If there feels like there's a need, so if the founder tells me, oh man, Jordan, if I could wave a magic wand and I could solve a big problem right now, which is part of one of my questions, I would just absolutely fill the top of the funnel because we have so few leads and we have such a fantastic product. If we could just get it into the hands of more people and more eyeballs, we would absolutely skyrocket. And I'm like, interesting, and I take notes. And then at the end of the call, I say, hey, listen, today's not about this, but would you be against maybe another call where we could talk about how I could help you solve those problems? And 8 times out of 10, like literally 80% of the time, they will say yes. And because you've built like and trust and engaged the law of reciprocity, they're far more likely to say yes. Whereas if I said to them in this email, hey, Alex, would you be open to getting on a call and I'll audit your business and I'll put together a comprehensive growth plan to show you how we can 10x your leads over the next 90 days guaranteed. And if we don't, we'll continue working for free. Would you be interested in more details? They'll go, not so much. Does that make sense? So when I outreach with the podcast, it does 3 things. First, it creates content for me. It creates content for them. And it outreaches in a way that's extremely easy to bridge into a sales conversation. And the worst case, you get content, they get content, and you walk away with a respectful, friendly relationship. It's the best method I have ever found when you do cold outreach. It's unbelievable. Instead of getting 1% reply rates, you get 27.5% reply rates. Like, just imagine what would happen to your business if you could get almost 30% positive replies. And on top of that, we have been absolutely crushing it with this personalization here, where we load in these leads, and yes, we ask them in a generic way to get on a podcast, and it's a non-confrontational way. But at the same time, you can see here, it's like, hey, Alex, I liked your LinkedIn post about making follow-up calls within 10 minutes to improve conversions and maintain consistency, and thought you might be a good fit for a podcast we're producing. Now, if I have a look at a different lead, I just pick a random one here. Hi, Simon. Liked your LinkedIn post about the conversation with Jack about online safety. It's helpful to see practical, jargon-free advice. And just thought you might be a good guest for a podcast we're producing featuring leaders in the consulting space. And so you can see that each lead gets a hyper-personalized piece of outreach that is all done by this magnificent piece of AI technology called Clay. So if you don't know Clay, it is a extremely expensive, unbelievably complicated tool that we have finally cracked the code on. And I'm not going to dive deep into the technicals and how to set everything up, because that'll be literally an hour-and-a-half conversation. I will, however, if enough people like and comment on this video and you say the word Clay down below. So if you want to see that, I will literally just lay all the cards on the table and tell you everything. But we pay a lot of money to this tool to do some of the crazy things that it can do. Like you can see here, up to $750 per month. And that's the, yeah. So I think I'm paying this one plus an extra handful of credits. So it's like $400 something a month, but it is absolutely worth it. Okay, so this is the correct list. You can see here that it pulls in their LinkedIn post, and then based on that post, it pulls in the text, and then based on that post, it creates a personalized opener. So this one says, I liked your LinkedIn post about making follow-up calls within 10 minutes. Okay, so this is great. This is the one that we saw, so we can actually see this in action. So here, Alex said, want to double your conversions this month, try this challenge. Make it non-negotiable. Every lead gets a follow-up call within 10 minutes. Track your results. You'll see faster follow-up, high conversions. Why go back? Consistency wins, not theory. And so this was generated by AI. This looks like it was generated by AI. And so there's no harm in this being generated by AI, right? And so what that does is that he obviously knows that that's been posted to his page. And you can see here that we enrich the lead with this as a variable, and then we upload it into Instantly, and then the result is that Alex gets a hyper-personalized piece of outreach. So if you're watching this, Alex, reach out. I'd love to chat to you. But that's how we use Clay. Now, what we don't do is we don't use Clay's native credits because it's extremely expensive. What we do is we hook up OpenAI. So I'm going to give you some of the source here. I won't give you this full prompt because I'll save that for the full breakdown where I give you literally everything, copy, paste, you can do it all yourself. But what we do is we use OpenAI's GPT 4.1 Nano, and it's significantly cheaper and still extremely effective at creating these LinkedIn compliments. And you can see here, there is a very long prompt that we loaded in with that we have tried a lot of different prompts, and this is by far the best one that we have configured. And then you can see here that what it does is it gives us the response, and then in the LinkedIn compliment section, now that is a variable inside the leads section. So let me show you what I mean. So Alex is from such and such company, and you can see the personalization here is different for every single person. And in Alex's case, all we need to do is load this up and put the variable personalization in, and all of a sudden we have a hyper personalized piece of cold outreach for Alex that he gets in his inbox that gives us 17% reply rates and up to 27.5% reply rates. Like if you had 124 opportunities in your inbox, how would you feel about that? If you had 116 opportunities in your inbox, like look at, there's 64 people who have replied to the outreach and I haven't even been able to get to them. Like, that's what it's like every single day when you follow this method. It's absolutely outrageous. And so I guess what I'm saying is, if you want me and my team to set all this up for you, I will put together, first of all, an hour and a half, 2 hour long video breaking down every single little integral part of how we put this together and structure it. So if you want that, make sure you subscribe and leave a comment below that says Clay. I will know that there is some demand. If you don't want to be faffed with all of that, if you're a business owner, you don't have time to do all of that, then I highly suggest that you go and fill out this form. And if it's a fit, I'll build it for you. How much do we charge? Significantly less than everybody else. And we guarantee results. So check out some of the case studies on the page. If that sounds interesting, you know, we're able to crush it for all these people. I'm sure we'll be able to crush it for you. And if we don't, you don't pay. So there's no downside. So look, if that sounds interesting, I'll leave that linked, first link down below. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching. Check out this video on the screen and see you over in that bad boy.